In 1971, Congress passed the 26th Amendment, which changed the voting age from 21 years old to 18 years old. It's time that Congress got together and changed the age again. It is time the legal voting age in the U.S. be lowered to 16. This is a topic that is highly debated around the globe. In fact, in the United Kingdom, the junior parliament has been having this debate for several years.
My name is Jack, and I'm 17. And I can vote in Scotland, and I did vote in May, and I cannot begin to emphasise the honour it was to cast my ballot in May. And here's why I believe that every single 16 and 17-year-old in this country should also be allowed to vote. Lowering the voting age comes down to two things: maturity and marginalisation. We know what 16 and 17-year-olds can contribute, but smoking isn't voting. Voting is a civil rights issue. However, we can offer much more to our society. Most of us are making major decisions about our futures, and many of us already do offer much more by holding responsibilities like being a young carer.
However, as with most topics in the U.S., there is no consensus on this topic.
The teenager is chemically and structurally, their brain is still different from the adult. They're only like 80% of the way to adulthood. It turns out the brain is the last organ in the body to mature, and that it takes until like your mid-20s to finish this process.
Dr. Jensen does make a logical case that 16-year-olds may not be ready to vote because of their underdeveloped and changing minds. However, if 16-year-olds can obtain a driver's license, quit school, get married, take on a full job, or pay income taxes, they should also be cognitively ready to vote. Perhaps a national proficiency test could be put in place for 16-year-olds to pass in order to vote, much like the test in order to obtain their driver's license. 16-year-olds today are much more aware of what is happening in the world compared to 16-year-olds of past generations.
But a lot of young people are interested in, how is my high school funded? How are the rules of the road? Because I've started driving when I was 16, so I'm curious about rules of the road. That's been a big issue lately because there's a ban on cell phones. You got to use Bluetooth on cell phones. Yeah. All these things that are they're topics that are interesting to everyone, but they're topics that are familiar to younger voters.
Lowering the voting age to 16 would give a voice to the 16 and 17-year-olds who in some cases know more about current issues than adults. 16 and 17-year-olds make up approximately 3% of the population today. In recent elections, the voter turnouts have been lower than usual. Lowering the voting age to 16 can help solve this problem. Studies show that it takes an average of 21 days to form a habit and stick to it. Getting started with the process at a younger age could help voting to become a habit. This in turn will help voter turnout in later elections.
We feel very strongly that the voting age should be lowered. We agree with current Illinois State Senator Jason Barackman.
I've been in favor of even lowering the voting age. In Illinois, 17-year-olds can vote in primary elections so long as they're going to be 18 by the general election. I supported that. That was something that was, people were divided in Illinois on whether to do that or not, but I think that we ought to give more people the right to vote.
As current 16 and 17-year-olds, we know we are responsible and on top of the issues enough to vote. With our access to the internet and continuous news cycles, we are well aware of what is going on.
If the voting age were 16, I think today's kids at 16-year-olds would be more prepared to vote simply because there is the instant access to information. There's the 24-hour news cycle, and I think 16-year-olds today are certainly more aware of what's going on in the world around them as a result of that.
And in many cases believe we are more capable than voters in the 18 and over category. It is time the youth get organized and set the idea into law.